What's up guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you a new video series today called What I Would Change, today focusing on the Nike Mercurial Superfly 5. Now if you've ever watched any of my reviews, you know I really go into detail on the specifics of materials, the fit, the feel, the performance characteristics of a shoe. I try to analyze and break down every single element of what's happening with a particular product. With that said, very rarely do I ever talk about what I would do differently to improve upon the existing product. Not to say that it's bad, but there's always something that you could change that would make you like the shoe a little bit more. In this case, it's my opinion on what I would like as far as changes go to a specific shoe so that I would like it more. Perhaps some of you guys will agree with me. So if you guys like this concept and perhaps want to see more, let me know by leaving a like on the video. And if you do want to see more of these, let me know down below in the comment section which shoe you'd like to see featured next, and whoever gets the most amount of requests, if you guys want to see it, is the one that I will get to making right away. So without further ado, let me tell you about what I would change with the Nike Mercurial Superfly 5. Let me start off by saying that I think the Superfly 5 is an excellent boot. It has a lot of unique characteristics and a lot of good performance qualities that you can only get from this particular shoe. With that said, it's not perfect. No product is. So with this particular shoe, the one thing that has always bothered me a little bit about the Superfly, even the Superfly 4, is obviously when they introduced the Superfly 4 with its Flyknit upper and the mid-cut design, that was a trend-setting boot. That shoe, along with the original Obra, changed the landscape across pretty much every single brand in terms of how they would move forward in regards to their designs. We're seeing lots of mid-cut stuff and just cut variations from every single brand because of the Obra 1 and the Superfly 4. With that said, the Mercurial concept in general is around 1, being very tight-fitting, 2, being thin, offering a barefoot feel, and 3, most importantly, being very lightweight. And when I saw the Superfly 4 and saw that that was going to be the flagship for the Mercurial line, the first thing that I immediately thought is, why would they add more material if the shoe's supposed to be as light as possible? And when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. If you have the collar, that's going to add more weight to the shoe. We see this as a direct example with the new Hypervenom Phantom 3. You have a mid-cut DF variation and you have a low-cut variation. Which one is lighter? The low-cut one. Why? Because it's less material. Less material is going to weigh less. So if you have the Mercurial line that's designed to be partially as light as possible, shouldn't it be as light as possible? Or at the very least, give us a mid-cut and a low-cut variation like we have with the Phantom 3s. Now this is very well a possibility in the next generation of Mercurial, the next generation Superfly, the Superfly 6, if that does end up happening, that we get a mid-cut and a low-cut variation of the shoe. In fact, I hope that is the case. They don't just go straight mid-cut. But for me, with the Superfly 5, even the Superfly 4, I think that the fact that they've added more material for the sake of the collar, the aesthetics of the shoe, because this really doesn't offer any performance benefit, I think it kind of takes away from the whole lightweight concept in the first place. The second thing that I would like to see different with the Superfly 5 is that I wish the upper was thinner than it is. It is thin, it does provide a barefoot sensation, but if you're comparing it to the Nike Mercurial Vapor 11, which also is a top-end shoe, it's not to say that the Superfly, because it's more expensive, because it's kind of the flagship Mercurial model, that it's definitely better than the Vapor, because that's not the case. They're both excellent boots, they offer different feels, but the fact that the Vapor is so much thinner and offers so much more of a true barefoot sensation versus the Superfly is something that I don't necessarily think should be the case. Obviously it's a Flyknit upper, but the fact that we did have the Superfly 4, which granted it was thinner, it had more reinforcement as well. This has a much softer, more sock-like natural experience or natural feel on your foot versus the Superfly 4, but the pinginess, the barefoot sensation that you got from that Superfly 4 upper, while it wasn't as soft, while it arguably wasn't as comfortable, I just preferred that type of touch, that type of feel from a Mercurial boot in general. And that's not to say that the touch of the Superfly 5 is bad, it's just thicker, it's more padded than I would want it to be. I feel like the Mercurial should be a very raw experience, especially the Superfly. That's kind of what the 1, 2, and 3 were all about. And then obviously with the redesign for the Superfly 4, not really related to the previous models, we still got that rawness. But with the Superfly 5, I just feel like that was taken away a little bit for the sake of a little bit of a softer upper and a little bit more padding. And again, not to say that it's a bad thing, but I would want something more true barefoot in terms of feel. The last thing that I would change about the Superfly 5 is based around the fit. And this is very much a personal preference thing, so not everyone's going to share this same opinion, I don't think. But coming from the Superfly 4, which granted did require more break-in time than the Superfly 5, I felt like once that shoe was broken in and you were comfortable with them and familiar with the way that they felt on your foot, the way that that shoe fit was excellent. With the Superfly 5, they tweaked things a little bit. I feel like they made the shoe a little bit more narrow fitting in the toe box and forefoot area, and I don't mind the tighter fit in the forefoot, but the toe box to me is just ever so slightly too narrow. I really like the shape of the toe box they had with the Superfly 4, but they could have taken away that little bit of volume in terms of the height of the toe box and the fit would have been perfect. They of course changed the sole plate as well, which may impact the overall shape of the upper too, so that's part of the reason why there is a bit of a difference in fit between the Superfly 4 and the Superfly 5, but just in terms of the overall shape and the way that the Superfly 4 fit my foot in general, I preferred the shape of that boot over what we have with the Superfly 5, so I would like to see that tweaked if I could change it. All right guys, so that is what I would change about the Nike Mercurial Superfly 5. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to support it with a like, and of course if you have any feedback for this series, let me know that down below in the comment section. That would be greatly appreciated. If you have any questions or anything of your own to add in regards to things that you would change, leave that down below in the comments as well, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.